Right, so I'm off then. The Great West Coast Escape Plan. So, there I was, sitting in my flat in Blighty. It was probably raining. It usually is, and I thought, I need an adventure. A proper one. Not just trying a new biscuit from Tesco, though that can be an adventure too, especially if it's a weird flavour. But no, I mean a big adventure. America. The West Coast to be precise. I'd seen it in films. It looked sunny, and they have those really big cars. I wanted to see if they were as big in real life. Spoiler, they are. They really, really are. You could probably park my entire flat inside one. My mum was a bit worried, of course. Are you sure, love? She asked. It's a long way. I told her that was sort of the point. If it was next door, it wouldn't be much of an adventure, would it? Just a trip to Mrs. Higgins for a cuppa. Which is nice, but not quite West Coast USA nice. I packed my bag with all the essentials. Sun cream, because I burn if someone even the sun. A camera to prove I actually went. And about 17 pairs of sunglasses. You can never have too many sunglasses. It's a scientific fact. First stop, Los Angeles, or LA as the cool kids call it. And I wanted to be a cool kid. So Louisiana it was. The sunshine was just like they promised. It was everywhere, bouncing off the cars, warming my face, making me wish I'd brought even sunglasses. I'd heard all about Hollywood. The Walk of Fame, the big sign on the hill. I was ready to see it all. I half expected to bump into a movie star on every corner. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Clooney, I'd say. It didn't quite happen like that. But I did see a man dressed as Superman. Close enough, right? The beaches were amazing. So wide, so sandy. Back home our beaches are lovely, but often a bit pebbly. And the sea is usually a colour best described as interesting. Here it was blue. Properly blue. Like in the holiday brochures. I tried to look cool and Californian strolling along the sand. I probably looked more like a confused penguin. But I was a happy confused penguin. I saw people surfing. They made it look so easy. I reckon if I tried I'd end up tangled in the board heading for Australia. Right, let's talk about driving in LA. Or rather, attempting to drive in LA. I thought I was a decent driver. I can handle a roundabout in Slough. That's got to count for something, hasn't it? But LA freeways are a whole different kettle of fish. Or rather, a whole different tangle of very fast-moving metal boxes. There are so many lanes. 6 lanes, 8 lanes, going in all directions. My sat-nav lady was working overtime. In 400 feet, merge left. Then immediately merge right. Then, oh, just pick a lane, any lane, good luck. She didn't actually say that last bit, but I felt it. The traffic. Oh, the legendary LA traffic. It's not a myth, people. It's real. Very, very real. You can be on a 10-lane freeway and everyone is stationary, just sitting there, listening to the radio, probably composing symphonies in their heads out of sheer boredom. I saw people doing their makeup, eating full meals. I think one chap was writing a novel. It's a unique cultural experience. Next up, San Francisco. I'd heard it was hilly. Hilly is an understatement. These weren't hills. These were near vertical climbs disguised as roads. My calf muscles got a workout they hadn't seen since that one aerobics class I tried in 2019. I walked everywhere. Or rather, I climbed everywhere. Up one hill, down another. It was like being on a roller coaster but in slow motion. And powered by my own legs. Which were starting to protest. Loudly. But the views from the top, absolutely worth every huff and puff. You could see the whole city spread out. It was stunning. And the Golden Gate Bridge. It's even more impressive in real life. So big. So red. Well, orange technically. International orange they call it. Fancy. I wanted to see it in all its glory. But San Francisco has this thing called fog. Carl the Fog, they call him. He's a bit of a celebrity himself. And Carl likes to play peekaboo with the bridge. One minute it's there, majestic and proud. The next, poof, gone, swallowed by a giant cloud. It made for some very dramatic photo opportunities. And here's a picture of, well, some fog. The bridge is in there somewhere. Promise. A trip to San Francisco isn't complete without visiting Alcatraz, the Rock, the infamous prison. I got the ferry over. The audio tour was amazing. You hear the stories from former inmates and guards. It's quite spooky. Walking through the cell blocks, peering into the tiny cells, imagining what it must have been like. Cold, damp, and very, very escape-proof. Well, mostly. They told us about the escape attempts. Some were ingenious, some were just a bit daft. It definitely made me appreciate my freedom and my comfy hotel bed. Then there was Pier 39, home to the famous sea lions, hundreds of them, just lounging about on the pontoons, barking, sunbathing, occasionally shoving each other into the water. They were hilarious. Proper divas, some of them, posing for the tourists. They smelled a bit, well, sea lion-y, but they were so entertaining to watch. I could have stayed there for hours, just listening to their barks and watching their antics. They seemed to be having a great time, living their best sea lion lives. Good for them, I say. Everyone deserves a bit of lounging. Seattle, coffee capital, and my quest for a raincoat that wasn't boring. Onwards to Seattle, the Emerald City, famous for coffee and rain and more coffee. I like coffee, so I was optimistic. I also packed an umbrella, a very sturdy one. I was ready for whatever Seattle's weather wanted to throw at me. Turns out it mostly wanted to throw a light drizzle, which is fine. It's just persistent, like a friendly but slightly damp puppy that keeps following you. I decided I needed a proper Seattle raincoat, but I didn't want a boring one. My quest began. It was a serious mission. The Space Needle. You can't go to Seattle and not see the Space Needle. It's very Space Needly, tall and pointy, with a flying saucer on top. I went up to the observation deck. The views were incredible, even with a bit of drizzle. You could see the whole city, the water, the mountains in the distance. It felt like being on top of the world, or at least on top of a very tall, pointy thing. I tried to take a selfie, but the wind had other ideas. My hair looked like I'd stuck my finger in a socket, a very windswept, slightly damp socket. Pike Place Market, flying fish, fabulous flowers, and a fear of dropping things. Pike Place Market in Seattle. Wow, just wow, it's a feast for the senses. And I mean all of them. The sights, the sounds, the smells. It's bustling and vibrant and a little bit chaotic. In the best possible way. There are stalls selling everything you can imagine. Fresh fruit and vegetables piled high, amazing cheeses, delicious pastries, and flowers. So many flowers. Bright, beautiful bouquets everywhere you look. It was like walking through a rainbow, a very fragrant, very busy rainbow. I wanted to buy everything. My suitcase was already protesting. The famous fish throwing. You have to see it. The fishmongers at Pike Place Fish Market are performers. They shout and joke and then whoosh, a giant salmon goes flying through the air, caught expertly by another fishmonger. It's brilliant. Such a spectacle. I was a bit worried one might land on my head, or that I'd be tempted to try and catch one, which would definitely end badly. For me, and for the fish. So I just watched. The open road, snacks, sing-alongs, and scenery that makes you go, ooh. Part of the adventure was the journey between cities, the classic American road trip. Well, sort of. I wasn't driving a massive convertible with the top down, more like a sensible hire car with a very chatty sat-nav. But still, the open road, it was exciting. The scenery on the west coast is just breathtaking. One minute you're driving along the coast with the Pacific Ocean sparkling beside you. The next you're surrounded by giant redwood trees that make you feel tiny, like a little garden gnome on a very big adventure, which I suppose I was. Snacks are crucial for any road trip. It's a rule. I took this rule very seriously. My co-pilot seat was usually a mountain of crisps, biscuits, and fizzy drinks. American snacks are an experience in themselves. So many different flavors, so many bright colors. I tried things I'd never seen before. Some were amazing, some were interesting. Let's just say my British taste buds were occasionally confused. But it was all part of the fun, and it stopped me getting grumpy when the sat-nav decided to take us on an unexpected detour. Again. Hey everyone, I recommend that you check out the great travel links in the description below. You may be able to make some savings on your next travel adventure. I hope you find them useful. Heading home, suitcase full of souvenirs and a heart full of happy. And just like that, my West Coast adventure was coming to an end. It felt like I'd blinked and it was over. But also like I'd been away for ages, in the best possible way. My suitcase was definitely heavier on the way back. Full of souvenirs, a tiny Golden Gate Bridge, a Hawaiian shirt from Venice Beach, a Space Needle keyring, and about 100 photos. My phone's memory was certainly complaining, but every little thing was a reminder of an amazing time. I had so many brilliant memories. The taste of that giant LA salad, the clang of the San Francisco cable cars, the smell of coffee in Seattle, the sight of a salmon flying through the air, the feeling of the California sun on my face, the slightly damp feeling of the Seattle drizzle. Even the stress of LA traffic seemed funny in hindsight. Almost. It's the little things, isn't it? The unexpected moments, the friendly faces, the times I got completely lost but found something wonderful instead. Those are the things that stick with you. I felt different, more confident maybe. I'd navigated new cities. I'd driven on the wrong side of the road, for me anyway,